It's WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Wallow and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here's your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome in, everybody, on this Monday, January the 17th. It is MLK Day, always one of my favorite days, just for the remembrance, to honor Dr. King. But also, we know Grizz are home. It'll be an interesting game, and I love the Symposium. I really do. And this year, getting the Legacy Sports Awards, and by the way, it is on TV. So you can watch Pete Pranica. I'm sure he'll be the MC. And he will have Muggsy Bogues, Elvin Hayes, and Allan Houston all getting the Legacy Award. So they'll be a part of their thoughts on social justice and everything else. This will be the first one I've missed. I can't say I'm leery because I went to opening day on tickets. It's just I need to figure out how to load my vaccine card in so I can get my media credential, and I'll certainly want to do that as the playoffs get closer and closer because you're getting more and more the sense that this is going to be a special year. Bulls in town. We'll talk about that in a second. NFL wildcard weekend was absolutely wild. Somebody's got them figured out. Somebody does not. Oh, we'll go over locks here in just a second. The Tigers hoops, they need healing. They need healing physically. They need healing mentally after the heartbreak and craziness of what happened in Greenville, North Carolina. That is the fifth really bad loss the U of M has had now this year. They certainly can't lose another game at home. They have to go winless. Perfect. They have to win every game at home and probably need to win just about maybe one or two games, maybe at SMU or maybe at Houston. They could lose one of those two, maybe both those two if they win everything else. Otherwise, they're going to have to win the American. But they're going to have to get healthy. They're going to have DeAndre Williams back. That is for sure if they are going to win. And the Tigers have hired a new offensive coordinator. If you'll recall, J-Mo, you might have been off that week with your COVID pause. But I went over a list of schools that were not Power 5 that were listed in the top 30 in the country offensively. One of those that I mentioned, I didn't even know his name, and that was Marshall. I just said, look, Marshall's, look at their numbers. And this guy, who I'm imagining the word will come down today, but the offensive coordinator for Marshall is a guy named Tim Cramsey. He's been the offensive coordinator there now for 4 years. Last year, they were 16th nationally in total offense. They averaged 456.5 yards. They were 18th in passing, under 300, but 294.6. They averaged 33 points a game. That was 30th in the country. And this guy is a quarterback developer. He developed Isaiah Green and a kid named Grant Wells, who started as a freshman. They were both freshmen of the year. These two guys, under the tutelage of Tim Cramsey. Last year, Wells threw for 3,500 yards, 16 touchdowns. He threw a bunch of picks. But, Hennigan didn't have that problem. But can you imagine Hennigan with this guy, after what this guy has done with Green and with Wells? It's really, really good. Also, he was at Sam Houston State in 2017 when they led FBS in I saw 8 different offensive categories. So this guy is a young-minded offensive guru, and it appears that the Tigers have him. That looks like, on paper, a really good pick. So you've got a DC that comes from Ohio State, Power 5, and you got this guy who's at other levels has just absolutely been dominant. So I like the picks. and hopefully they all mesh with Ryan Silverfield, and we're off and running. And just the acquisition, and I don't know that I really mentioned it. I had it in my notes the other day, but we had so much we were talking about. But the kid, the Tigers get this kid from Northern Illinois who was the MEC freshman of the year. He's a running back, big yards, over 1,000, and this kid's going to be terrific, I think. And you still have Brandon Clark. You still have Asa Martin. You did lose Kylan Watkins. I didn't realize Kylan Watkins actually had another year of eligibility. He broke his hip, and I guess the last straw was when he saw the kid from NIU come, and he saw all the other guys that were sticking around. He decided, if I want to play my last year, I'm going to have to go somewhere else. So he entered the transfer portal. I only wish Kylan Watkins the very best. Kid from Whitehaven, went to UT Martin, was going to finish his career in his hometown. Didn't work out. He would have gotten a lot more, I think, snaps this year, especially at the end of the year, had he not gotten injured. But he did, and that is tough for sure. We got medals coming your way, and the locks, I'm just going to say.
Still one more game, though, Dave. One more game of locks.
I understand, and I'll get a little bit more into it in medals, because we got medals coming your way here momentarily. What a great weekend for the NFL. And we can talk about this in medals, too. Because let's just say this. We've got it set up. Kansas City and Buffalo, Green Bay and San Francisco. Jimmy G, well, actually, they ran the ball beautifully. Jimmy G was serviceably, made one bad mistake. I don't know what he was thinking. He just actually was on the run, and the ball sailed on him. He had a bad pick. It almost allowed a comeback. But then, Dallas, I hate to say this, but Dallas is just not well coached. I really thought McCarthy was a good coach at Green Bay. He just had good players, and he had a guy that is a Hall of Famer in Aaron Rodgers, because his Cowboys teams are the least disciplined teams I can recall. Highest in penalties, dumbhead plays right and left. When's the last time you saw on running plays two defensive guys, I think one was a linebacker and one was a lineman, tackling offensive linemen and getting caught?
In crucial situations, too.
I don't remember running plays, guys getting caught for defensive holding. Amazing. And then the dumbest dumbhead play of all. And you're going to blame the officials? 14 seconds to go. I don't care how you time it out. If you want to get a little closer, run a quick out. I know that they finally decided to take that away, but you can figure out some way to get out of bounds or make it a closer play and spike the ball. So if you think it's too far from 50, 30, 35, you still have a chance. Prescott can throw the ball 50 yards. You're looking at a Hail Mary anyway. That was just a bonehead call. And I don't know if that's the OC, the young genius, Moore, or if that is McCarthy, whoever made that call, and McCarthy's backing him up. I don't know. But I don't understand how you could take that chance in that situation when really San Francisco was trying to allow you back into the game. Crazy, but very bad coaching. In the meantime, before we run out of time, because we do have our wrap-up of the college football season with our friend Mike Fitzsimmons. Last time we'll talk to him this year. We go down to Oxford for that, and then we will talk more NFL with a beaming T.J. Reeves, whose Buccaneers once again looked absolutely perfect. So without any further ado, it is time for Precious Metals. I'm going to give a bronze to me. 5-0. I am 5-0.
5-0.
I'm if I win tonight and you lose again, because you're 1-4.
Yes, that's correct. 1-4. Tough weekend for me.
I think I moved to within 2 games of you.
That's right.
And we've got a long way to go.
All of basketball.
All of basketball. Wow. I like my chances here now. I've really been good in the NFL.
You've been great in the NFL.
I should just quit picking college football because I can't do it.
I think this puts you like 7 games over 500 right now. Could go at 8 games over 500 in the NFL if you win tonight.
Wow. And I do have the road dog, Arizona, We'll see what Kyler Murray does against Matthew Stafford. Part of the reason I took the Rams was because I don't trust Matthew Stafford. I mean, the Cardinals was I took Matthew Stafford. My second medal will go, bronze medal will go to the combination of Brady and Gronk. Big touchdown in the third quarter. Domination over the Eagles, 31-15. Mike Evans was big in this game, too. Maybe even bigger than Gronk. But I love that. I love the fact, and we never mentioned this. Last week, Brady was supposed to come out of the game. We'll have to ask T.J. Reeves about this. He stays in the game because he wants Gronk to make this particular catch in order to get $1 million bonus. I mean, come on. That's being your best friend, isn't it? I mean, come on. That's
great
amazing.
Teammate.
That is really something. 2 silver medals. One goes to Jimmy G in San Francisco because their defense was really good, and they ran the ball really well. So they outgained the Cowboys. They sacked Dak 5 times. He didn't have a whole lot of time, even with that great offensive line. They didn't use Tony Pollard enough either. Pollard did get a nice touchdown in that game. But there's just something about the way San Francisco seems to win these games. They get a bronze, and of course it's on to Green Bay for them. They get a silver. The other silver goes to the combo of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, who had 116 yards. Burrow threw 2 touchdowns, too much for Vegas. Covered the line and everything else, 26-19. So now Buffalo goes to Kansas City. Quick, is that the best of the games on the docket?
I think Kansas City's still might beat up on them a little bit. I don't know. Maybe so.
It's certainly going to be entertaining.
It will be.
That is really for sure. And then my gold goes to Josh Allen and Buffalo on a frigid field. And remember, the only time they lost to New England this year was on a frigid field. This one was even colder. How about this? This is why they get a gold. 7 possessions, 7 touchdowns. Allen, 21 of 25, 305 yards, 5 touchdowns. This is against New England. You know that on third downs, they were 6 of 7. You know why they were not 7 of 7? Because Mitch Trubisky took a kneel. Otherwise, they're perfect. This is against Bill Belichick, the genius. 47-17 dominance. The defense, 2 interceptions and 3 sacks on Mac Jones. Tough day for the rookie. And so on to Kansas City for Buffalo. They get, I only give out 1 gold. They get my gold.
That interception from Micah Hyde you were just talking, that was one of the most unbelievable interceptions. He's running full speed the other direction. Almost looked like Ken Griffey Jr. the way he caught it. It was unbelievable. My bronze medal goes to a few NBA players that have been standing out. Jonathan Kuminga, the rookie from Golden State, on Thursday against Milwaukee had 15 points and 7 rebounds. Then he had 25 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 blocks on Friday against Chicago. Then yesterday against Minnesota, he had 19 points and 7 rebounds. So that's a rookie playing really well right now. And then Jalen Brunson, the last 2 games, one of them was against the Grizz, I hate to say, but he's been playing off the bench a lot. He's finally getting a chance to start with some of the COVID protocols and injuries and stuff. He had 15 points and 9 assists against the Grizzlies, 19 points against the Magic last night or on Saturday night. So those are some NBA players that have been playing unbelievable. Goes my bronze. For my silver, I'm going to go to the Sony Open. Hideki Matsuyama, an unbelievable comeback. Shot 63-63 over the weekend. Birdied the 72nd hole to go to a playoff. Then on the playoff hole, his second shot, he's 277 yards away. Hits a 3-wood to within 3 feet. Makes eagle, wins the tournament. One of the most unbelievable comebacks. He was 5 strokes back going into the back 9 on the last day.
277-yard 3-wood to 3 feet.
To 3 feet. It was unbelievable. One of the most incredible shots I've ever seen. In the Sony Open of all things, it's January, they're playing meaningful golf. It was unbelievable. I can't believe I was watching so much golf this weekend, but I was. And then my gold medal goes to the Nickelodeon broadcast of the Dallas Cowboys and Niners game. Ian Eagle's son, Noah Eagle, and Nate Burleson, and then another young lady I wasn't familiar with. And they have some kids doing the Nickelodeon
stuff. Well, you know what? Eagle
stuff.
and Burleson did last year. They did. I don't know if it was I don't think they did the Super Bowl. They did some game.
I think it was a wild card game, same thing. It was the Bears, right? Because the Bears played in it. Mitch Trubisky won their award or something like that.
Might have been. I can't remember, but Ian Eagles' kid is talented. I wonder how old he is.
He looks really young.
Yeah.
But it's just a cool visual experience. Even if you're a
kid.
kid.
They do the green goop
They got
thing?
the slime going on the field and in the
right.
end zones. It was just a cool game to watch. I really enjoyed it. So that's my gold medal.
How about that? You give it to that. We got our Russ coming up in a minute. I'll let you know we're sitting in the Family Leisure Studio. And a reminder, at least for the moment, that floor model sale going on. I know they've had a lot of traffic, that's for sure. They got to have room for the incoming 2022 products, so the floor models have got to move. They priced them that way, I promise. But here's the deal. Once they're gone, they're gone. It's not like they bring out other floor models. These are actually the floor models. And they've got it in theater seating, massage chairs, arcades, foosball, air hockey, shuffleboard, even spas and pools. So please, go check it out. You'll love it. The floor model sale happening right now at Family Leisure, I-40 and Whidden Road. I have 3 rusts. My first, to the Kansas City Chiefs and their foresight in buying fireworks. I mean, the Chiefs did score 6 touchdowns. They scored 42 points, right? I mean, they were playing the Steelers. They were 12.5-point favorites. They've got Patrick Mahomes. They've got all these trick, gadgety plays where they throw to a lineman or they let Kelsey throw. Crazy stuff, right? They only scored 6. It's not like they scored 70 points. They scored 42. How do the Chiefs run out of pyrotechnics? They ran out of fireworks. There's no excuse. If they had scored 10 touchdowns, okay. They only scored 6. Everybody was expecting that. Terrible. They ran out of fireworks. My second rust goes to the Dallas Cowboys and their decision with 14 seconds remaining to try to run a quarterback sneak to get closer in order to throw a Hail Mary. A Hail Mary is a Hail Mary. You might have actually had 2 shots at it had you tried it the other way. Instead, you run out of time. And don't blame the officiating crew. First of all, Dak Prescott handed the ball to his center. He's got to hand the ball to the referee. And the referee, I guess maybe looking for him to give him the ball, sort of collides with him. That might have been the 1 second they would have needed. But you're just being careless. Too much of a gamble to even make the decision to try that play. Crazy. Bad thought process, then bad execution. Deadly combination. A rust from me. And finally, a rust to Novak Djokovic, who got deported a second time, and this time it stuck, and he's out of the Australian Open. Frankly, he had a great shot to become the greatest of all time. And because of not having a shot, he has no shot. And if he doesn't get a shot, he won't have a shot at Roland Garros because the French government has just changed their rules about entering public places, and you got to have a vaccine. If he doesn't get a shot, he won't play at the French. He's 34 years old. I mean, Novak, wake up. It's a shot. It's now like a war of wills that he's going to destroy a chance to have the legacy of the greatest of all time. I don't get it. And now, let's just say Rafael Nadal will kind of be cheering for him. Rafael Nadal, if he wins, he's got 21. He gets past Federer. They're tied right now, all 3 of them, at 20 Grand Slam championships.
It's really unbelievable. Like you said, a chance to go back-to-back in the Australian Open and decides not to. But, I don't know what to say about it.
Well, he wanted to.
He
just doesn't want to get a shot for whatever reason. And now the word is out. He will not be able to go to Paris if he does not change his approach.
It's a shame. I have 2 rusts to give out. My first one, the reason I gave a bronze to Jonathan Kuminga is because I also had to give him a rust. Klay Thompson is making Jonathan, because they have these rookie hazing and rookie duties, Dave. So Klay Thompson is making Jonathan Kuminga carry around chess and checkers as his rookie duties, a set of chess and checkers. The media yesterday asked him if he knows how to play. He said, I don't know how to play either. So someone's got to teach Jonathan Kuminga how to play chess and checkers. It'll help him in basketball even, I think,
Well,
too.
you can start with checkers. It's a little easier.
It's a little easier, exactly. And then my last rust doesn't have anything to do with sports, but I saw this commercial because there was 2 NBC games this weekend, and one of them they ended this game to play this stupid show. That's my jam, Dave, hosted by Jimmy Fallon. You know, Jimmy Fallon, the host of The Tonight Show.
Yeah.
Imagine the host of The Tonight Show pulling double duty to host a stupid made-up game show. I mean, it is embarrassing to television. We talk about streaming taking over and the days of live television are behind us. This is the end of that. The host of The Tonight Show pulling double duty. Unbelievable.
I have never understood NBC's decision with Jimmy Fallon anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, to me, in that time slot at night, which I now can watch a little bit, Jimmy Kimmel is by far the best.
I agree.
I mean, Stephen Colbert is smart, no doubt. But Jimmy Fallon, I never got it. I still don't get it. And yet they continue to even give him more. It's crazy.
It is.
It's crazy. All right. I agree with your Rust on that one. We got lots to do. We head to Oxford in a little bit. I'll let you know this portion of the show is brought to you by Conway. Conway services heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and free furnaces. That's what happens in January. This is like the 4th or 5th year, John. Trying to spark business. Slowest time of the year. Warehouse is full. And they're looking to figure out how to get things going. And so John came up with this. I'll give you a Carrier 80% gas furnace free if you get the standard state-of-the-art Carrier air conditioning system. That's right. You get a free furnace if you buy the best in the business, the Carrier air conditioning system. And if that's not enough, John says, I'm going to throw in a 10-year parts warranty. I'm going to throw in an April air cleaner. I'm going to give you a free Nest thermostat, state of the art. That's about $2,000 in savings, and I'll give you the new system for as low as $139 a month or 12 months interest free. I think everybody can do that. Get state of the art. Save on your MLGW bill. Save $2,000. You can't beat free furnace time at Conway 384-3511. Back in a minute, we put a wrap on college football with our friend Mike Fitzsimmons. He's next.
Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane bring you Sports 56 Grind Time. Brought to you by Poultry Power. Weekdays from 1 to 3 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I was getting my coffee today, Jose, and I heard there's a new way to get our jobs done at a price we want to pay for them. Grow profits and find new workers.
Sure, boss.
I downloaded the ZipCat construction app, Jose. Used the work icon, created the job description, and priced it.
Yes, boss.
Another contractor will buy it, and we got 3 days to accept and mutually approve the job, Jose.
Sure thing.
New concept. No more estimates. We control our price with ZipCat. Contractors, plumbers, electricians, etc. Find jobs listed with ZipCat. That's ZIPCAT. Download the ZipCat app now for free on the App Store and Google Play. ZipCat app, the best tool in your toolbox.
Hi, I'm Troy Fivesh, owner of Fivesh Roofing. Sunday, today and today only. And for the first 50 callers, these are things you will never hear me say in my ads. Because if you're honest, sincere, and knowledgeable, you don't need fast-talking, high-energy, gimmick-promising advertising to get someone's attention. Speaking of that, how do you think companies can offer huge rebates and giveaways when you use their services or products? By overcharging you in the first place. That's how. 5S Roofing doesn't operate that way. It's misleading and dishonest. When I provide a customer with the best products and the best service, and I do it for a fair price, why would I need gimmicks? Best products, best warranties, and the best service possible. That's all we offer. Well, that and financing. 5S Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5S Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5S Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
What a great time to start a new year with a new car, truck, or SUV from our friends at Auto Universe Germantown. The new go-to place for the finest luxury vehicles you'll find in one place anywhere. It's on Winchester, just off 385. I'm out here looking at hundreds right now. Lexus, Toyota, Infiniti. Here's some great-looking Audis and Jeeps. And I see Hondas, Chevys, Mercedes, beautiful trucks, SUVs, and of course, cars. Go to eAutoUniverseGermantown.com and take a look for yourself. A lot of people complaining about long wait times getting service appointments. Well, just call Robert here at Auto Universe Germantown. He'll get you in now. 901-751-7300. Everything from brake service, rotating tires, transmission service, even checking the battery. Winchester just off 385. That's where they're located. You're going to love Auto Universe Germantown. Ask for Zach and tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Radio. Finest pre-owned luxury vehicles and great no-haggle prices. 7300 Winchester off 385. Or online at eAutoUniverse.com.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again, it's the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus.
Our title sponsor for the program, is Homer Skelton Hyundai. First exit in Mississippi, Craft Road, right off of Highway 78. That's Lamar. They will never charge you more than sticker price. Can other dealerships make that same claim? That's what they tell you and promise you at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Just make sure you head on out to see the way car business should be done. You'll feel secure. You'll feel taken care of when you go to Homer Skelton Hyundai. We'll chat with our friend Mike Fitzsimmons in a second. I did want to mention the Bulls Grizz today. That game, 2:30. You have your choice. You can listen to Pete, and the symposium's at 1:30 on Bally Sports. So you got Pranica. I know he's going to do the MC, and he does just a great job. Then you've got a choice between TNT or Pete and Brevin and Rob Fisher. And the Grizz are actually 8-point favorites. This is a battle of the number one team in the East, although they've lost 3 in a row, the Bulls. They've also lost Alex Caruso, and I don't think Zach LaVine is playing either. So they've lost a couple of stars. The only guys I know not playing for the Grizz will be Dylan Brooks. He's still out. I think that Killian Tilly. I think he's in protocol, so
Correct.
He may not be there. So they've lost a couple of guys, but I think those two may be more important to the Bulls than even Dylan Brooks is to the Grizz. So that happens this afternoon. Grizz, who've lost 1 in a row, have to break the losing streak, and they're 8-point favorites today to do that against the Chicago Bulls. I'll let you know this portion of the show is brought to you by Old Dominick. I love talking about this distillery downtown because it's the only place where you can get a tour, learn a little bit about the history of spirits in Memphis, and especially the story of Dominique Canali. He came with nothing, and now he has this empire. And then you really get a 45-minute sensory journey. I like it. You get the history. Then you learn about the craft from grain to glass, how you will make your favorite spirit. And then it all ends with a tasting of the Old Dominick portfolio. It's a cool deal. All you got to do is go to olddominick.com, find out when the tours are taking place. You'll love it. You really will. And their late-night bar. You'll like that, too. That's Old Dominick in the heart of downtown, 305 South Front Street. We go to Oxford, our good friend Mike Fitzsimmons, to put a bow on college football for the year. You were a guy who played in the trenches. You love to get muddy and dirty and grimy and really battle it out. So you had to love this championship game. And in the fourth quarter, look what Georgia did to Alabama. That just amazed me. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. Boom, boom, shimmy, shake to you, Wolo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you remember those days?
I do.
Doing, well, there was boom, boom, shimmy, shake, shaking going on, and it was a hell of a football game. Congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs, the 2022 national champions, and they earned it, David. And there's a lot of salt in those wounds. You understand? I mean, this this Georgia bunch, Kirby Smart's been building this team. I'm happy for Matt Luke, and I know a couple other guys over there, and the kids, because they've been grinding. And look, man, these two have a history. You can go back to the 14 SEC championship game, and I called it the body bag game. It was an NFC East football game, David. You understand? Mm-hmm. Hey, you're talking about the most crushing loss the Dogs suffered in the college football era in the 17-18 national championship game, okay, in overtime. And when they thought they could avenge that in 21 in the SEC championship, they were touchdown favorites, and they lost by 17. You understand, David? So the Bulldogs got their revenge in a 33-18 whooping. I kind of tried to tell you, David, that this was one of those buckshot, birdshot games. Here, the Dogs were coming after that bone. And kudos to them. I love defense. It's the best college football defense I have ever seen. It was, I mean, hey, Alabama's defense was, in the first half, it was a heavyweight fight. It was Joe Frazier and smoking Joe Frazier from Philly and Ali. You know what I'm saying? And man, they got it on. And we talked about kicking. It came down the block, the special teams, big plays on the block, momentum swings. And I think a key, I mean, there were a lot of keys in the game, but, you know, there was a 3-point lead late in the third quarter, and Bama had the opportunity to make it a 2-score game, David.
Yeah.
And Bryce Young delivered a throw. On 3rd and 11, that would have put the Tide down at the 5, but it was dropped, okay? He gets smoked. He gets hit. There's a momentum changer, you know what I'm saying?
That's right. And then they miss
another field goal.
Yeah,
And
that's the game right there.
Georgia blocks it. You understand?
Yeah.
So, then on the next play, James Cook takes off for a 67-yard run, and a few plays later, the Dogs take a 13-9 lead. You understand? 3-play series swung the whole play and everything. And when you get to the fourth quarter with Georgia up 13-12, this is my favorite part of the game, was the walk-on, Stetson Bennett. What he did, David. And will there be walk-ons in the new NIL age? But we'll get into that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how about this kid? The quarterback comes in, and by the way, we've been talking about SEC officiating, Wallo. Was it a fumble or not? Empty hand, come on. Was it? I'm talking about the fumble.
No.
On what was that a fumble or
in
not?
the NFL, hand coming forward means it's not, and I think that same rule applies. I did not think it was a fumble.
Yeah, well, I can tell you this. Alabama did one heck of a job on the kid, but the walk-on, I'll tell you what, David, they call him the mailman over there, and he delivered, like my man FedEx and Fred Smith. I mean, he got it done. I mean, this youngin', hey, I was so impressed with him. He saw Alabama hits you with NFL fronts. I talked about Belichick and Saban being friends, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't think they look at game plans? The beauty of coaching is it's a circle and network. It's not what you know, it's who you know sometimes, right, David? So I can assume that Saban, and I'm not saying Bill Belichick, I don't think he's that type of friend. I don't think they're sharing game plans by any means, but there's shared knowledge in there. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you Stetson Bennett's all mug fronts, NFL fronts. And it confused him with a bunch of simulated pressures, and you got twists, and it was bothering. You could see it. I mean, he was under pressure early, and then the kid, the repetition slows down the game in the mind's eye, and the kid walked after that fumble, and people were sitting in front of their TV saying, well, look at this walk-on. Well, I've always liked the kid, and Kirby Smart made the right choice this time. He didn't panic. He didn't make a call 4th and 9 like he did in the prior game that kind of swung the mo. And every play mattered. Every coaching decision mattered. And Kirby Smart out-coached Nick Saban. Okay? And I'm going to end this with this. The Bear Bryant, he is the greatest. Well, if I put my top 5 coaches in there, you would be shocked. And I don't know where Nick Saban would be. got a lot of rings. Certainly, he'll set the record. But there were innovators, and the game's changed. This stuff's like an NFL farm system. You know what I'm saying? And I think that I hope whatever's ahead in college football, we realize that the Deion Sanders down there at the historically black colleges, David. You know what I'm saying? In the state of Mississippi alone, football's a beautiful thing, man. Friday night lights in Tennessee and Memphis, MUS, or up in the whole state. We can't lose that with this NIL stuff because that's where football starts. You understand?
All right,
and
so let's transition to there. Let me transition to there. I'm glad you brought that up because that was my last thing for you. You, about 10 years ago, said to us, Wallow, we're going to start spreading things around. We're going to have one good left tackle. We're going to get a bunch of mobile offensive linemen, and the game is going to become completely throwing and offense. And you were right. That's where the game went. So with NIL that you just mentioned and transfer portal, where do you see college football 10 years from now?
Well, they've got to solve the NIL stuff because it's about the kids. When the NCAA figures it out, it's about these kids and they're student athletes, but they've got to be compensated. You understand? And if you're going to dwindle down the pool with the transfer pool, I think I got sick looking at the number. I think there was 1,800 kids in there, and 30 had homes or something like that, or 300. It was ridiculous. So where do those kids go? Where does a walk-on like Stetson Bennett go? Where's a two-star player, Patrick Willis, go? Okay, so you got to figure it out, and it better start from within. It should start with the M clubs and the NILs. The kids should get paid, and you better cover. The most innovative is going to win against the Alabamas, who that's a machine and dynasty over there. They're not going to stop loving football. God bless them. I love it.
Well, just remember this with the NIL, okay? Because I think people sometimes don't understand the total concept. A school, by law right now, or by rule, not by law, by rule, a school cannot arrange the NIL. I know there are. I think you and I have had thoughts where you think state governments should organize and funnel them. That by rule cannot happen now. This has to be the student athlete with a particular company as a mediator putting together these deals. Now we could change those rules.
But hold on, let's stop right there. So now you got tax situations for 18-year-olds. Okay. So now we're going to go there, and then who gets what and how much. Okay, and then it's a pro enterprise. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and so the states in Mississippi, if you want to compete with Alabama, it would behoove the historically black colleges, Deion and them, and Southern, and all of them to think about how am I going to pay a kid to come here to play here, or if it's Ole Miss, okay?
Well, so, if you're Deion, I'll tell you how you do it. You go to your shoe company that you love and loves you, and you say, funnel it to my guy, and that's what they did.
Well, that's what they've been doing in basketball for years, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's pull the scab off of putting teams on probation for letting folks hunt on land or kids sleeping on the couch. Okay, let's not be selective. Okay, because you know what, David? A high tide and all the boats rise, and there's kids out there. You know, I mean, it should be about them, and they've got the power. In '86, I was approached as a captain. And some bunch wanted, I forget where it was. They were smart now. I read their stuff, Duke or Wake Forest, and I got their literature, and they wanted us to strike and walk out and not play the Independence Bowl in '86. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And I, as the captain at the time, I discussed it with Jeff Noblin, and he was co-captain, and Billy, and it was just it was not something we did not, and there were. We discussed it with the leadership. It wasn't just me and Jeff. You know what I'm saying? There were brothers in there that had sweat equity into this. So collectively, it was not the time. I don't know. This is the time, and for some type of change that should benefit these kids. And don't forget, get them a degree. Offer them, come back and get health care, and let's incentivize them. Okay, if they're going to work for it and to dream that dream, make sure they get more. They get compensated more if they get a degree. Okay, they get compensated more if they make. Whatever happened to Bob Hope and the all academic All-America teams? Incentivize them and pay them more for that. Okay, have FedEx sponsor a program. Say the best and the brightest come to be a Tiger. So something you're going to have to do something at each university to unlock this and take care of the kids, because I don't think the SEC over in Birmingham is going to be worried about everyone else.
Nope.
Okay.
All right, Michael. As always, insightful. I do think you're right. There will be much more organization to the NIL. I don't know what will happen with transfer portal, because that becomes like free agency, but that's where we're at, and I don't see that really changing. That will be a factor.
David, got to hire a general manager, but the sad thing is, I coach baseball and all them kids, and I got a young man, Shane Tucker. He's coaching up at MTSU. Played up there, played football for Coach Stock, and those. What's going to happen at that level? All my high school buddies, I was going to quit Ole Miss and go play, because all my high school buddies, 11 of them went to Lycoming, and they won the Division III national championship, and they teased me at the bar about winning a ring. You understand? I was going to transfer and go play with them.
It all worked out right for you. In this day and age, with the ability to transfer like that, maybe you would have. Who knows? But we thank you, Michael. We'll do this again next year. We appreciate all your hard work this year, and enjoy the NFL, because I know, although your Eagles are out, I know you enjoy it.
I love it, David, and I love you. Thank you, everyone in the midst for the thoughts and prayers. I was sick, and in these times with COVID and everything, take care of yourself, folks. Take care of your health, and I mean it. Prayers work, David, and tough times don't last. And I am going to be back.
Here you go.
Play you and golf.
Thank you, my friend.
You and golf. No, not just golf. You. I'm coming after you, Wolo.
Okay.
You hear me?
You got it.
All right.
Thank you, Fitzy. Bye. That is Mike Fitzsimmons down in Oxford, and we end our discussion, at least for a while, on college football. He's brought to you by James Davis and the Stant Perfect shirt and pants system. This is custom fitting. It's new. Well, it's not new now. It's been around for a couple of years, but the only place you can get it in Memphis is at James Davis. The Stance system is where they feed with pants 2 measurements, shirts 3, into a computer, and the algorithm spits out the perfect pair for you. It's amazing how it works, and you get it within 2.5 or so weeks. Used to be a week, but it's become so popular. And honestly, it's affordable, and you'll never have a custom fit like this one. It's better than the 20 measurements the old tailors used to make. It really is something. And again, you have choices of fabrics and patterns and everything else, but it will all fit perfectly. The Stance system for pants and shirts, along with all the other great products that you've been getting for years at James Davis. That's the men's store of Memphis in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. We pause for a second. When we come back, more on the NFL with our guy in Tampa. That's TJ Reeves. He's right around the corner.
You have opinions?
What do you hear? What do you say?
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
doesn't matter how much you owe on your trade-in. It doesn't matter if you've got bad credit. Everybody saves big during Sunrise Buick GMC's year-end blowout. Hundreds of new and used Buicks and GMCs with a $5 million used car inventory, specializing in cars and trucks under $10,000. Remember, Sunrise wants to get you financed. Bad credit, bankrupt, slow pay, it's okay. Sunrise specializes in secondary financing and works to get you financed when no one else can. Zero down with approved credit delivers at Sunrise. Buy American and buy from SunriseMemphis.com. Collierville, Covington Pike, and Wolf Chase. We make it fun to buy a car again.
Tire pressure light on? Tread low? Car sliding when you stop? It's time to go down to Milton on the Spot. Serving you at 3 locations: 1684 Getwell Road, 2127 Ellis Presley, and 3691 North Watkins. Memphis' largest supply of new and used tires, all under warranty. Yes, that's warranty on used tires too. Ask about the tire rotation and balance specials. Milton on the Spot on Getwell Road, Elvis Presley, or North Watkins. Here to take care of your every tire need. Milton on the Spot.
Some things should just be left to the experts. Sure, you might be able to scramble an egg or make a piece of toast, but do you really think you can throw together a better breakfast than Sunrise on Jefferson? The cooks at Sunrise are the breakfast experts, making perfect breakfast after perfect breakfast, with the freshest ingredients, cooked with care and cooked with speed. There's simply no better breakfast in Memphis. Go ahead, make some instant grits if you want to, but if you want real breakfast, you want Sunrise.
Hi, folks. Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and I want to thank all of you who came to see us at Russell Brothers so that Christmas would be special for your lady. Thank you so much for the confidence and trust that so many of you have placed in Russell Brothers for over 37 years, and we're going to work even harder in 2022 to let you know how important you are. Whether you just need an $8 battery or a $20,000 diamond ring, you will receive the very best in beauty, quality, service, and value. Our exquisite gemstones, our fashionable designs, our huge array of fine jewelry will dazzle you and will help make you a hero in her eyes. Our warmest wish for you is a healthy and prosperous 2022, and when you want to let her know how very extraordinary she is, we invite you to come and see us at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins. After all, doesn't she deserve the very best?
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Wow, some stunning news for me this morning. I don't know how many of you might have heard over the years a gentleman named Les Grobstein. He was a original Chicagoan. He worked his whole career in Chicago. There was a famous rant by then Cub manager Lee Elia that was really profanity-laced. Les Grobstein asked the question that prompted that. He was there working for 50 years. He actually went to one of my rival high schools, was a play-by-play guy for Northwestern, only 69 years of age. Les Grobstein has passed away. Great Chicago reporter. In the meantime, to Tampa we go, our great sideline guy and reporter and play-by-play guy, too. And that would be T.J. Reeves, who joins us now. I don't know. Do you know Les Grobstein at all? I'm stunned.
I knew of him a little bit. And by the way, our mutual friend George Offman talked with me this morning. George is also a Chicago sports radio reporting legend who you know very well as well. And George had planned to put out a retro podcast on the origination of the first all-sports radio station in Chicago, The Score, which just celebrated its 30th anniversary. He is now going to delay that by a day because he's going to be doing a tribute show to Les, because Les was a longtime host on The Score, the sports radio station, the nighttime guy, has been a fixture for over 45 years on sports and sports radio in Chicago. So, again, I know this is a little out of market for Memphis, but they have a tight-knit fraternity, as you know, Wolo, in all these different media markets, and this has hit them hard because it was unexpected, as George was relaying to me. Les was on the air even as recently as last Thursday. So he wants to share some of that and some of the stories, and again, we're on an all-sports station right now in Memphis. Every major market, every market that has an all-sports station that's been around 20, 30 years, you get to know the Dave Woloshins and the Brett Norsworthys and on. Les Grobstein was one of those guys in Chicago, and he's gone, and so now they're doing a lot of reminiscing on Chicago sports radio and in the Chicago media today. So I thought I would share that with you and update you with that our buddy George Offman, his podcast is called Tell Me a Story I Don't Know. So we're going to do something about the Les Grobstein news, and then he's going to brighten it up with the history of how the Score came about and how it became the iconic sports radio station it did in Chicago and still is to this day, 31 years later. How about that?
I do remember when the Score started, and I remember when my friend George was a part of that opening. So that is
it was almost a jazz station, and the story is in the podcast about how the executives almost really blew the opportunity and made it a jazz station and not a sports station. There's a tease for you on a Monday.
Well, of course,
I know you want to move on.
This station is the first sports station in Memphis.
There you go.
So there we go. All right. Let's talk a little bit about yesterday and give me the story going back a week where Brady's supposed to come out of the game and does not want to because he wants to make sure Gronk gets his $1 million bonus. Because I think that's an unbelievable buddy story. That's a movie.
Oh yeah, and they obviously are intertwined forever and have been. I'm going to go over several accolades here in a second, but it was no secret Gronkowski was only about 50 or 60 yards away from a $500,000 bonus. And then I think it was a total of 7 catches, and had a great game against Carolina. You'd long wrapped up the margin of victory in the fourth quarter, and it's like on the sideline they were aware of these things. He needs one more catch for another $500,000. So Brady was supposed to come out of the game, and he told Bruce Arians, "No, I'm going in, and we're going to get this for him on a little 5-yard pass." And that's exactly what they did, and they did a nice feature on Inside the NFL. And as you mentioned, I was on the call filling in for Gene Deckerhoff, and Anthony Becht was our analyst filling in for Dave Moore. Our guys were back yesterday, but we were on the call, and Becht was on it right away. He still needs one more catch for the $500,000 bonus. So we were talking about it, and NFL Films actually used it, and it grows to show the camaraderie, the brotherhood that Brady has with his former guys in New England, and now Gronk down here in Tampa Bay. And Gronk caught a touchdown in the game to segue to the game, caught a touchdown in the game yesterday. That is his 15th career postseason touchdown. He trails only Jerry Rice with 22 of them. Wow. A tight end, Rob Gronkowski, has the second most ever. Tom Brady, by the way, now has 84 postseason touchdowns. The next closest active player is Aaron Rodgers with 44. He is 40 behind Tom Brady.
Well,
Brady's
total yards in postseason is like 12,000 something, and the next guy is Manning 5,000 yards shy. And of course, Tom's is still growing, so it may never get
astounding.
It may never
it
get busted.
Absolutely
that's for sure.
astounding.
And I'm assuming that all those catches that Gronk made came from Brady, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's been remarkable to watch their teamwork, and the Buccaneers defense was back healthier yesterday, which ought to be scary for the rest of the NFC. I know you got to take them one game at a time here, but with Levante David, Shaq Barrett, Jason Pierre-Paul back, I remember being on with you 12 months ago, young man, and saying if they get some good, not even great, good defensive play, look out with Tom Brady at the helm. I am testifying on the Wolo and Friends show. If they get the kind of defense they got a year ago and yesterday, look out moving forward for the Bucs. I don't even care on the road. I don't even care at Lambeau. Look out with what this team can do.
Well, you've got Los Angeles or Arizona next. Who do you think it'll be?
That's a great question because each one on the other team's field during the season, and the Rams just recently, like 3 weeks ago, got revenge on Arizona and beat them in the desert. And you don't know which Arizona team are you looking at the end of the year, the one that went to Detroit with a stink bomb game and lost, or then turned around and beat Dallas at Dallas in a must-win for their playoff hope, and then came to the final day of the regular season, and all they had to do while the 49ers were beating the Rams for them was win at home with Seattle, the other division rival, and this game would have been in Arizona tonight. It would have been in the desert. Instead, they blow it to Seattle at home. So which Cardinal team is going to show up? You have to favor the Rams at home in this, having already lost to the Cardinals one time at home this year. Are the Cardinals really going to beat them a second time tonight? I don't know. So I would favor the Rams, and then again, that game is 2 Memphis time, 3 Eastern time. It'll lead off the Sunday coverage coming on NBC, actually. They've shuffled around all the TV networks. NBC, Channel 5 in Memphis, Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya will broadcast the Buccaneers against the NFC West team next Sunday.
And that's in Tampa either way, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
No matter what, and that's because the 49ers beat the Rams and
then,
opened the door.
And then if the Niners beat Green Bay, you'd get a third game at home. Otherwise, it's back to Lambeau.
It's back to Lambeau, that's correct, but stay tuned. Look at what San Francisco did yesterday to get out to that lead, and then it was almost like both teams just wanted to give that game away at the end, wasn't it? I mean, and then the remarkable quarterback draw that has everybody, Jerry Jones is one of the highest profile owners in all of professional sports, and he has been a volatile owner with coaching changes. And one of the first things that I've talked and talked with media buddies about after that is Mike McCarthy could get fired after how that ended.
Well, that
yesterday.
was just a stupid call, in my estimation. Bad thought process, bad execution all the way around, and don't blame the referee. TJ Reeves, as always, we appreciate it. We'll do it again next Monday.
Fantastic to be with you, as always, my friend. And the Bucs roll on in the playoffs. I look forward to being with you more after Buccaneer playoff games. Thank you, sir.
Me too. That is our friend, TJ Reeves. He's brought to you in part by the Spirit Shop. Okay, weekend's over, but we've got Monday Night Football. We've got the end of Wild Card Weekend, Cardinals and Rams right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 if you want to watch it on TV. I get that too. Put the sound down, listen to us. Here's the deal. You're out of spirits. So where do you go? You go to the most conveniently located, nicest people, family-owned and operated, the Spirit Shop. 4848 Poplar in St. Nick, right down from Clark Tower. It's that little log cabin you've seen forever. Go in and talk. You'll get the whole breakdown of what's really good. Best bourbons, best tequila, best vodkas. You'll also find out the greatest wines or the bargains and the up-and-comers. The Spirit Shop at Poplar and St. Nick. Thanks to Fitzy. Thanks to TJ Reeves. We're back tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.
Looking for a new job? Contact Pro Resume. Sending out hundreds of resumes. No response? Contact Pro Resume. Tired